estate in Oahu with Hawaii's only true real estate radio show, the Team Lally Real Estate Show. Grab a pen.
or check us out online at teamlally.com.
Hey, you know, the best way to see all the things that we're doing and where we're at is just Google Team Lally, because then you can come on you can check out the Facebook, the Instagram. What else we got? LinkedIn, TikTok, Twitter. Anyway, I call it La La Land because I'll tell you something unique about me. How many social media accounts do I have, Adrian?
None.
0. Now you're thinking out there, like, how is this possible? This is how I describe it to people. I'm on social media, but not on social media, which means I'm on all the team stuff. You know, Adrian's got all the accounts. If you do send me any kind of friend request, or if you're following me, that's probably my 26-year-old son who has the same name. And you're going to and maybe all this time you thought it was me, and you're like, wow, he looks good for his age. No, that's my 26-year-old. And anyway, so speaking of social media, I think I was on, I don't know if I ever had an Instagram, but you
had a Facebook.
I had a Facebook for about a minute, and it is Facebook is like quicksand. It's hard to get out of it. Like, you got to go do this and you got to do that and And you know what? I heard from the Zuck that every human being on the planet has some kind of Facebook account, but it's more of like, if it's not a personal Facebook account, it's like a digital number or some, kind of computer technology that's set up as that person, and it's assigned to that person and maybe necessarily tracking their behavior. I don't know if that's urban legend, but that's my understanding. And so that helps with all the algorithms and all the things that they do with Facebook. But that aside, I'm not one of those conspiracy theory crazies that, I have a zombie bunker, stockpiling firearms and MREs, and the smartphone is Satan or anything. I have just made a conscious choice not to be involved in all of that. And
I think it's also your age bracket. I think there's probably quite a few people, and
I have yet to meet, and I've met hundreds, thousands of people, and I've yet to meet somebody like, yeah, me too. I'm not on any of that stuff either. I've yet to meet anybody.
If any of our listeners are like Attilio, email us, info@teamlally.com. We're curious.
Speaking of which, and I didn't print them out, but I print them out the last time. In the last couple of days, I got 2 emails from 2 different agents, one in the mainland and one here locally, commenting on the show, and I really thank you for that, because with radio, we don't really know who's listening. Mm-hmm. We don't know who's really listening besides the CIA and the FBI, but and my mom. And so it's helpful. So if there are topics or things, or if you got a question you want to ask, any kind of question,
just send us an email.
info@teamlally.com.
We may pick your question and answer it on the air.
On there, and we'll give you a shout out. So don't be sending questions from, these fake, I don't say fake, but they're like anonymous type handles like Cosmic Bunny.
Let us know who you are.
Yeah, we need to know who you are if you want to engage with us, because I'm like old school. And speaking of someone that's old school in a new school way,
that always answers his phone or returns those phone calls very quickly.
And you know what? I would say that's old school, because people nowadays, with all the pinging and the bonging, they don't answer their phones. But this person does. And who's that?
That would be Duke Kim Han of Hawaii Pacific Property Management.
Yeah. Hey, Duke.
Hi. How are you guys doing?
Good. What you got for us this week?
Answering your phone is probably the most important thing you can do in property management.
I would think in any sales.
I was at one of the property management meetings. I was just a guest there, and there's a section in the meeting where Duke will actually beat you with the rubber hose for not having answered your phone that week.
So our tip of the week is
Yeah.
pest control is so important. I got two
Yeah.
calls today, just today,
Yeah.
from tenants who said that they are being overrun by pests.
And it wasn't their kids?
Yeah. It's the owner's responsibility to make sure that pest control
Yeah.
is being done in the unit previous to the
Yeah.
tenants moving in.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say it's a 50-50 shot if the owner's going to continue to do pest control while the tenant is in there.
Yeah.
Or if he's going to leave that to the tenant to maintain. But previous to the tenants moving in, pest control is so important in Hawaii
Yeah.
because we have bugs that are constantly trying to penetrate from the outside in.
Yeah.
Ants, roaches, we have all kinds of lizards that come in. We have
The geckos, yeah.
rodents that want to get a meal, and you just got to prevent that.
Yeah, we heard on one of the shows that at the restaurants, it can be a super clean restaurant, but the main thing is the gum underneath the table. Now we know that doesn't happen at residential things, but for you restaurant owners, you better go scrape that stuff underneath because they said that roaches can actually live for months with just the gum underneath the table. Well, and Duke, because we talk to people that are, we one of the things we do when we take a listing consultation, we always say regarding Duke, Adrian, what do we always tell our sellers or suggest?
That they get a rental analysis
Yes.
and see if this is the best option, whether they rent or just sell.
And you've mentioned it before, but the pest control thing pinged in my brain this other thing. They always worry that their landscaping is going to get trashed. Can you talk about what's your guys' solution for landscaping with renters?
So if we notice the yard is out of whack,
Yeah.
we get there, we tell the owner that. We're like, you got to do the initial yard work, and then I would recommend highly that you include yard work in your service every
That's
month.
it.
Just pay for it.
That's it.
It's $100, and that's $100 that you're not going to make from the tenant. But in the long-term issue, if your landscape is ruined because the tenant didn't do it,
Yeah.
I've been to court on this.
Mm-hmm.
We lost because the judge, there's only one in Honolulu that deals with landlord-tenant issues.
Yeah.
And he says that that's the landlord's issue, not the tenant's issue.
Yeah.
But it could ruin your value of your property so much.
Yeah, I just put in sod because I wanted the grass to come in my backyard and a sprinkler system. That was $15,000. $100 sounds like nothing
Yes.
to take care of that.
It's better
if I was
to
going to rent my
invest
place out.
on
Yeah.
the upkeep of the landscaping.
Yeah.
15,000 easy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We just had a big case in a tenant that put a bouncy house in the backyard.
Mm.
This perfectly green yard.
Uh-oh.
And when he left 2 years later and took the bouncy house out because his kids were small, all that grass had died under there. So we required him to replant sod.
Yeah.
And the sod ran about $2,500 to be installed and delivered.
Yeah, from small areas, expensive.
Yeah, exactly. About 120 square feet.
And
that was an expensive bounce house.
And then who paid for this grass? Was it the
The tenant.
tenants? Wait.
Took it out of security deposit.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think there's another good reason to have a professional property manager because everything was documented.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he tried to do seed.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
We're like, you can't do seed.
Yeah.
You have to put sod. He said, well, I don't want to pay for sod, so I'm going to put seed. And the seed never grew. It never took.
Yeah.
And he tried to blame us for not maintaining the seed, the seeding.
Yeah.
And we're like, this is not the property manager's responsibility to go and water your seed every day.
Yeah.
So it was a terrible mess, but he ended up paying for the summer.
Well, you held them accountable to that, and there's some very specific guidelines for that because if a homeowner does that, most likely you're going to mess it up and they'll be in hot water, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just call HIPA's property management and we'll take care of it for you, one-stop shop. We don't take any money up front.
Yeah.
No upfront fees.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Duke.
Duke.
Great.
Okay, that's Duke Kim Han of Hawaii Pacific Property Management. You can just give our
Just go
hotline
to
a
our
call,
website.
799-9596. And
We'll connect you up. Go to our website. It's experts we trust on our Team Lally website. Don't take our word for it. They've got hundreds of 5-star reviews. And go take a look at it. We've actually spoken with tenants that said, I prefer renting stuff that Duke and his team manage because they enjoyed the experience as a tenant. Speaking of another expert we trust, this person in the lending industry, if you just listen to the show for the next couple minutes with her on it, your IQ will go up.
So that would be Jody Tonga, the mortgage genius.
Hey, Jody.
Hi, market update.
All right. My favorite.
So the Federal Reserve had their open market committee meeting today,
Uh-huh.
and they made the decision to pause.
Yeah.
So they are not increasing for the 11th straight month. They have not for time in a month. And what is funny about that is most people would think that would have been a direct improvement on mortgage rates
Mm-hmm.
because they did not increase the overnight rate, but actually mortgage rates remain flat.
So what are we looking at now as far as what buyers can expect? People that are putting offers in.
Yep. So the recommendation is definitely to lock once your offers get accepted. There's just the reason that the mortgage rates did not improve
Mm-hmm.
because the skip was great, but what came after the skip was the messaging from all of the cities saying that the states of so if it came with a skip, if it was a skip and we feel really good about our battle against the system that everything's moving in the right direction, that more sounds like, hey, we're setting us up for potentially no more rate hikes, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happened was a skip and then a head. So we're gonna skip, but we want everyone to stay on their toes and realize that it's still anticipating a couple more, or it's within the realm of possibility that there are going to be a couple more rate hikes this year. So we are not done, and we are not saying we're done. And so that is why there wasn't an improvement yet to the mortgage rate. So it's unless you are a high risk, high reward type of borrower, if you get it in escrow, you should, and you already know with your lender that you can afford because you've already seen the numbers before you get into escrow. But then yes, you should look at locking in as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Okay, so you heard it here on the Team Lally Real Estate Radio Show from the Mortgage Genius, Jody Tonga. How could our listeners, I guess they can get a hold of you by going to our website and connecting up with you there, right?
Well,
Right, Attilio?
But more importantly, what other questions we got for Jody? I mean, that was some good stuff.
Yeah. So what would be the first thing that a listener would need to do, Jody, in order to take advantage of the market?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, having a strategic conversation with your realtor team
Yeah.
and your lender team. I mean, having a strategic conversation. What are your goals? How long do you anticipate owning? Why are you trying to buy?
Yeah.
For someone, I'm buying because I just found out I'm parent house.
Yeah.
I'm buying because I just found out that my landlord is selling. I'm buying, that's a different reason than, well, I'm going to be a first-time home buyer and I'm just thinking about it, and those are two different conversations. However, at the end of the day, it's still a great time to buy,
Mm-hmm.
and there are reasons that we would like to fill you in on why
Yeah.
that is.
And have a strategy. I love that word. Have this strategy session, and there's different reasons and whys, and some of those whys are more pressing as far as the time. versus others that, have a little bit more flexibility. So, yeah, so I guess if you have a timing issue, you want to give Jody and her team a call today and start that pre-approval process, because that is the first step in the home buying process.
Hey, Jody, you still there?
Yeah.
I got a question for you. So, everybody, with the interest rates being the way that they are, if somebody came to you and said, it's your own family, right? Because we always trust, and this is what I know about Jody, whether she would give you the same advice as if you were her own family. Is now a good time, based on what you know about the interest rates, is now a good time to go be buying a home here on Oahu?
Absolutely, it is.
Yeah.
And this is why, because when we were talking to buyers and explaining to them what it would take to compete during the unicorn years of
Yeah.
historically low interest rates, we were saying, yeah, guess what? Great news. Your rate's going to be 2.75%. But in order to win out on against the other, 17 offers, you're going to have to do this thing called an appraisal clause, and you're going to pay X amount of dollars, in the 50,000,
Yeah.
50,000, even we all know even more, but above the asking price if you want to compete.
Yeah.
And so I thought the buyers then that were saying, I'm not doing, like, listen, I'm not doing it. I'm going to wait
Yeah.
for the market to cool. I am not going to do this thing called the appraisal clause thing where I pay more than it appraises for, and I'm not going to offer $50,000 over the asking price. Okay. So you didn't do it.
Yeah.
So you waited for the market to cool, and now interest rates are higher.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? You approve that. Now you don't have to do the appraisal clause thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you don't have to go over, right?
Yeah.
But that's your give take.
Mm-hmm.
That's your give take between I'm not willing to do it in order to be able to get the accepted offer during the historically low interest rate. Now it's choose your better situation.
Yeah.
Now you can get an accepted offer without that.
And that's the reason why I asked you that question, is because we get asked that question all the time as realtors. And when, sometimes people, I won't say they don't trust the source of it, but obviously we have a financial interest in them buying a home now versus later, right? Commissions.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people think, oh, you're just a salesperson. And, if I ask any salesperson, regardless of what's going on with the market, is now a good time to buy a home, they're always going to say yes. I would say that it's yes and how, or yes and why.
Mm-hmm.
And you just gave them the why. Everybody thinks, it's like if Confucius came to you and said the two best times to plant a tree is 20 years ago and now, and then you respond back to Confucius, well, I'm going to wait. He just gave you some wisdom there. What are you waiting for? If you plant the tree 5 years from now, somebody who planted the tree today is going to have a 5-year-old tree. Somebody who bought a home today maybe don't have 5 years worth of equity in it, and equity from paying it down, and equity from increased value. And then, Jody, what if interest rates 5 years from? Do you think interest rates from 5 years from now will be higher than they are today? And I know it's a crystal ball question, but what do you think?
No.
Yeah. So with that in mind, it doesn't matter what the interest rates are today, right?
You can always refinance.
Yeah.
Again, back to that strategy.
Yeah.
Have a strategy.
Okay. Thanks, Jody.
Thank you, Jody.
You're welcome.
All righty.
Okay, that's Jody Tonga, the mortgage genius with Pacific Rim Mortgage.
Uh-huh.
You can find her at the Experts We Trust tab on teamlally.com.
Yeah. And by the way, if you hear any guests on our show, it's 799-9596. If you got a question, we'll connect you with them.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you're like an introvert, you don't like talking to people. Just send us an email, info@teamlally.com. Yeah.
Just taking care of even if I'm helping them out with that. But so for people, yeah, they're also there's a separate bed bugs too. As most people know, bed bugs are great hitchhikers.
Uh-huh.
You could be the cleanest person, because they don't have bed bug issues, and they're like the most sanitary homes ever, so they don't care because all they need is human practice. They feed off blood meal, obviously. So
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And I personally been to a house where I was sitting for almost a year or so, and I was actually there looking at the termite thing. But I was inside the room in some of the bedrooms, and I started seeing some fecal stains and blood stains from electrical and some other areas.
Yeah.
That indicated that maybe there was a bed bug issue, and I had one of our technician specialists come out and do an inspection, and sure enough, we found bed bugs that had been dormant for a while.
Yeah.
I was just waiting for the next plumber to buy the place to move in, and then they were gonna start up again. So I guess something interesting with that is people can just inspect their furniture, right? So
Yeah.
you can look up a Google bed bug what it looks like, what their eggs look like, what the seams, especially for mattress.
Uh-huh.
Would be a spot where they'll usually be. And then also, with rentals, I guess they can obviously show up there. You might not suspect. But also, I think one thing, if you ever travel, right?
That's the one I was going to hope you was mentioning, the traveling. Yeah.
One thing to do is if you ever travel, even in hotels and stuff, they do the best and correct things that they can control. But yeah, so just inspect, your room before you move into your hotel room.
Yeah.
Everything's good. I use a flashlight, and then when you get home, take all of your stuff and throw it in the washer and dryer because that bugs die at about 119 degrees Fahrenheit, I believe is Brazil.
Yeah.
And you wash it and dry it, they'll die. And then leave your luggage out in the sun for like a day or so, and shit cooking in there. So.
Oh, nice. Well, I guess it was good me being anal retentive as I am. When I come home from vacation, I literally don't even go in the house. I take everything out of my suitcase and dump it into the washer. And then obviously from there, it goes into the dryer. So I didn't know I was keeping bed bugs from Thailand, from Iceland, all those places, with their visa and all their stamps from all those countries coming into my house. But, I'll be vulnerable for a second. Your kids, when they go do sleepovers, my son did we figured it out. It was a sleepover because this is my oldest, and this was a couple of years ago, probably 10, 12 years ago, but we noticed that he started getting a lot of red dots on his back, when he was getting up, and we're like, couldn't figure it out. Was it a heat rash? Was it acne? And then we sure enough, I don't know, for one reason, we were cleaning his bed, because teenagers, they wash when they wash their bedding when they go off to college. And so we put the stuff in the washer and dryer, and then we noticed that the bed bugs were in the lining. I mean, you can spot treat, but we pretty much just had the whole house tented, and stayed somewhere else for a couple of days, and then that nuked them for sure. But do you have to tent if you have bugs or?
Yeah, great question. So it's kind of like similar to how you can think about termites. If you let termites go for a long time, you might have to tent, right? Because
Yeah.
It's going to be everywhere.
Yeah.
Bed bugs can get, if they're in one bedroom, you can probably treat that room.
Yeah.
2 or 3 bedrooms you can, but if you let it go for a long time and like they're so infested where that they're in every room of the house.
Yeah.
You might get to the point where you need to tent. And just a comparison for you, since we talked about termites.
Yeah.
For termites, tent for bed bugs, and you can tent for some, there's a couple other types of boring beetles you can tent for, but for reference, bed bugs take 10 times the concentration of nitrogen gas,
Yeah.
which is used for tenting, and you have to do it for 2 nights, so 3 days.
Yeah.
So it's 3 times as long and 10 times the concentration.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it sounds like, yeah, sounds like these bed bugs are like Conan the Barbarian of the insect world. They're like bed bug named Conan. What is the rule? And then he's like, to hold my breath for 2 days straight and to not eat for a whole month. And you guys, I just tell I tell people it's a German accent, it's a Spanish accent, it's a Greek accent. But every time I do it, I sound just like Arnold. But yeah, the point is that they're very persistent and resistant, and it's something that you want to. It's good that you're helping people understand what they need to do to recognize it. Yeah. 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 They came. The original bed bugs came to Hawaii. Was in Captain Cook's wig, and we tried stopping them because we went eat Captain Cook, but it didn't work. So we went cook Captain Cook, didn't work. The bed bugs still came. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah. 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 Yeah, because it's like, oh, I got rid of the bed bugs, but now I feel kind of dizzy for a couple of days. And my kids keep walking into walls, and for some reason they're not on their iPhones anymore. Something must have gone wrong. But okay, Taylor, well, thank you so much.
yes,
And Kilauea Pest Control is the best.
that's right.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm a customer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I like about you guys, your service that you guys come? You guys move the doormats. And don't nuke my doormats, so I drag all the pest control inside.
And I'm so glad that that Taylor called in because
Yeah.
Duke earlier on in the show was talking about
landlords,
the importance of having maintaining a pest control with your tenants.
Yeah.
Because it just can get real messy.
Pre-move-in and then maybe some visits.
Yep. So I know that Kilauea Pest Control helps a bunch of the Hawaii Pacific property management customers as well. So
thanks, Taylor.
Thank you, Taylor.
All right. So before we take a break, you wanted to share some info.
Yes,
at teamlally.com with our clients.
Yes, we have some Google reviews that we're gonna share. So the first one is from Chris Kenny, and we've known Chris for like well over a decade. So it was a pleasure to get to work with her.
And you got to read it like real kind, fast voice.
Okay.
So we can go to our break.
All right. So smooth sailing, 100% recommend Team Lally for real estate transactions. My team for life. I just got to Seattle back from Alaska cruise. Thank you for everything. I'm heading back home this afternoon. They held the check for me at the escrow company on Merchant Street. So I'll go and what is this? This seems like she's just giving us a whole account. Yeah. Again, mahalo for everything and guiding me through the process. I'm happy with the results and the decisions along the way. The house is sold and I'm free.
She had a whole bunch of E's in there. She said, Team Lally for life.
That's right.
And then she said, and I got 2 words for these guys. Chee-hoo.
That's right. She was very happy to be done. So we are going to take a quick break.
But when we come back, I got some exciting news that we're going to share with you after the break that'll change your life forever. So
stay with us.
So, I mean, all this live streaming is garbage now.
What?
all this live streaming is garbage now. No guest audio.
No, it's low. What happened was I got bumped out, and then when I came back in, the audio came back, but it's low. I don't know why. There's something on the board that's going on because our audio is fine. And what's Sheen doing? She can't hear anything. There's no commercials happening right now. It's just me and you there on the screen. Can she not hear? Because so the guest audio is there. It's just low.
She might not be able to hear the board right now.
Yeah, there's something happening with the board. It's not. There's something like that's here that's not working there. Because we moved it, and
Well, Nino's saying no audio.
That's commercial audio is slow.
Even our commercial audio is low. He just commented.
I see that. He can hear. The audio came back after I logged back in. That's when there was no audio.
That just came up. Like
commercial audio is low. Like for me and you, it's fine, but not for the. So it's something here. Something here is not turned up the way it needs to be turned up. Maybe ask Leah. There's something here that's not like the output. Can you ask her?
You can put it back to the other one. Or switch to even another jack.
No.
You gotta be careful when you're moving the stuff around.
Yeah, there's something going on. It's not with our equipment, it's with the board. There's something in there that needs to be adjusted.
The Team Lally Real Estate Show continues.
Welcome back, and thanks for listening to the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed Sold program, or we'll buy it. I'm Adrian.
And I'm Attilio.
And if you have any questions, just give us a call at 799-9596 or check us out online at teamlally.com.
Hey, before we get into the next vendor, I want to talk about the art part of the show. At the beginning of the show, I actually didn't go into it. And so I want to do that now. Attilio's Random Thoughts. It's the stuff that I think about through the week to bring to our listeners when we do record the show. And so it was about mindset and about affirmations. And if you think about it, if you're a religious person, prayers are a form of affirmation, and the inverse of that is that affirmations are a form of prayer. And so what I wanted to share with you is that during trials and tribulations of time, and by the way, I did some research with a doctor of psychology regarding affirmations, because back 20 years ago, that was all considered woo-woo stuff, as Oprah calls it, without any. This is backing up. So some key things to remember is that this is kind of like helping you manage the negative internal dialogue by actually having an affirmation. What this doctor mentioned is that, obviously it's got to be a positive affirmation, because you've got to counteract a lot of the negativity that is, do you have a negative bias in society?
I would say so.
And what's causing that? I'll tell you what's causing it. It happens in the morning, and it happens in the evening, and
the news.
The news. And it's in the newspaper, and unfortunately, a lot of things on social media, it's a negative spin on something that grabs people's attention and has the most engagement, which is unfortunate. And if you think about it, think about your programming as a child. Being raised, they said, by the time you're age 2 or 3, you've heard the no word.
Thousands of
thousands
times.
of times. So it starts in your programming and as we do it as parents with you as a child, and most of your predetermined personality and character and everything moving forward is kind of mostly set by the time of the age of 18 and 19, and then gets reinforced. That negativity gets reinforced through the news, because if it bleeds, it leads. That's what they always talk about. So affirmations are important, and one of the things she talks about is not having this doctor of psychology regarding affirmations is not having, I think it's called terminal optimism or fatal optimism, and that what that means is that regardless of what your internal feelings are, is that you state things in an optimistic and positive way, but you're really not addressing the underlying feelings. And what she says is that when we don't address the underlying feelings, it will pop up again some other time. And so you've got to address the feelings. And the way you do it in the affirmation is just, hey, I acknowledge that the situation I'm in is making me feel this way. However, I've been through this before, and I will get through this, and I will have a positive outcome. And she says, you got to say it out loud. You got to say it out loud. And not just read it internally, but it's a way of, it's what they call it, self-therapy. So one of the things we do with our team, it's one of the first things that I do work with, Laura is our president. What's she do? As far as the onboarding with the agents and along with Olivia?
Well, they're training and coaching and mentoring.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that our new agents are successful. Like the goal is to get into escrow in that first 30 days.
Let's talk about the three different things. Coaching. What is coaching? What do you think coaching is, Adrian?
I would say that would be like that external voice, because we can't really coach yourself.
Yeah.
Right. So just giving that advice and feedback on what you're doing well, where you need improvement.
And then I'll dovetail in behind that with training. Training is more of like the technical nuts and bolts. How do you fill out a purchase contract? How do you go through an intake form when you go and visit with your sellers? All the technical things. What is the digital marketing? How you do the presentation? Taking a look at all the previous history, pulling title reports. I mean, I think we've got like over 180 point checklist when we go to list a home that we go through, and it's a list and you go through it. That's the technical nuts and bolts of it. So that's training. And then the mentorship, what do you think mentorship, or how would we explain mentorship to our listeners?
The mentorship is where you are like side by side. You're together. You're doing it together. You have an experienced agent that's by your side. You're not necessarily they're not necessarily doing the work. It's like you're doing it together.
Well, and with mentorship, and coaching and training, we have a 3-phase process. It's they watch us. We watch them, and then they do. So they watch us, we watch them, and then they do. And what we're doing is we're taking you from, and I'm going to share with you someone that's got to that level. We're taking you from unconscious incompetence. You don't know you're doing something wrong, and you're unaware of it, to conscious competence. We're telling you what you're doing wrong, and now you're aware of it. Or conscious incompetence, and then there's conscious competence, where you know what you're doing wrong and you're actively changing it, and then you get to that level of mastery where it's unconscious competence, where you've been doing it for so long that you're doing it almost automatically at an unconscious level, is providing this high level of service. And someone who's reached that with home inspections is who, Adrian?
That would be Kenji Vendetta with Pillar to Post Home Inspections.
Hey, Kenji.
How are you guys?
Good. How many, if you had to guess how many home, and we won't hold you to this number, but how many home inspections do you think you've performed? Couple thousand. Yeah. All right.
That's mastery level.
So we're setting it up because people are like, whoa, couple thousand home inspections. He's got a good nugget for us today. So what are you sharing with our listeners today about home inspections?
For those of the people that has crawl spaces, to inspect their drain lines. I did one home last week that had a crack in their drain line, and now they're leaking waste lines underneath their house, and that's where the fumes are going.
Yeah.
And that's going to cost the repair. If we could have caught that ahead of time, we could have, gone in there and did some remediation prior to having all this wastewater underneath their house.
Ooh.
So yes, for those of you that have crawl spaces, take a look at your waistlines.
Yeah.
It may not be the prettiest, but take a look at them. Get a plumber in there to evaluate them for the condition that it's in.
Now, was
And
this
then
a
go
home,
from there.
were you doing a home inspection for a buyer that was in escrow, or was this a pre-inspection for a seller?
This is a buyer.
Buyer.
So, yeah. I mean, just knowing the fact that your waistline is cracked, and you're already looking at $10,000 in repairs.
Yeah.
Just for the waistline,
Yeah.
not including anything else that needs to be taken care of after the fact.
You know, and it's Kenji, would you say, I mean, it's human nature. It's one of those things like we should be doing these things like, you know, exercising, eating right, getting enough sleep, flossing before every meal and brushing our teeth. But it's like
And getting in your crawl space and checking it out.
it's right up there. And so here's one of the things I would say with the market that we're in. I'm curious to see if you're seeing more of these, but certified pre-owned is one of the marketing things that we're recommending strategies for sellers in this market because homes are sitting because of the interest rates. Inventory is still low. We'll get a seller's pre-inspection. Speak to that a little bit. Seller's pre-inspection.
What are the benefits?
Yeah. What's the difference between that and a buyer inspection? If any.
Seller pre-inspection brings everything that is hidden that the owners do not know about,
Yeah.
brings it to light. And now the owner has the options to take care of those issues or to just be like, hey, this is my price point. These are the issues.
Yeah.
We can give you the credit for the issues that are present, or we can take care of the issues that are present, or we can weed out all the potential buyers and actually get hard offers
Yeah.
from people that want to take on these issues.
Yeah.
So it dwindles the field, it narrows the field down for the prospective buyers, but you're not dealing with, you know, these people that, oh, we want to put an offer in, you guys accept their offer and then back out. Now you're kind of stuck in limbo going back to, you know, backup number 2, 3, or 4, when you guys could have just brought everything to light. And the first buyer that wants to actually put an offer in is their guarantee because they know what they're walking into.
Yeah. I know people are hesitant. They're hearing this and like, oh, why should I do that? Because then all these problems are going to come up. Well, they're going to come up in escrow and it's going to actually cost more money for you because of negotiation. So if you do it up front and address it,
you're being proactive.
It's like it's like your dream teenager who wrecked the car. It's like, Dad, I went totaled a car this weekend, but I already took it to the auto body shop. I filed the insurance claim, and it's back in the garage and it's all in good shape. Wouldn't you love to have that kind of conversation with your teenage driver? That's like a pre-inspection.
It sounds a bit delusional. I don't know that a teen.
It could happen, but the probability of it happening is very low. So we're telling you, don't be that teenager that wrecked the car and then you go put it on the market to sell, and then people are like, what? So pre-inspections is what we recommend. Also, it's a marketing tool. You can make it available for the buyers to take a look at. Mm-hmm. And even if you got issues on there, so long as they adjust it.
Or offer a credit.
Or offer a credit. I mean, all kind of strategies. We probably got 10 different strategies to deal with a pre-listing home inspection to make you more money. Mm-hmm. Kenji, is in this market, are people talking about it, requesting it? It may or may not be so.
Yeah, I've gotten a few inquiries from other agents and brokerages about pre-listing inspections.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to package it together so that way they can actually move their properties. Because what they're saying now is, you know, they're just sitting longer and now they're just asking for larger credits. You know, I just did one house and sellers gave $50K in credits.
Wow.
You know, if you don't have to give $50K in credits because you already exposed yourself for all the issues with the house, you might be able to stick with a hard number and be like, well, here's the actual credit for repairs.
Yes.
That we're going to give.
Or we price the home accordingly based on what was found in the home inspection.
Yeah, because during the inspection period or home inspection, now they're still going to do their home inspection. We still encourage them to do a home inspection. But however, it's just like you said, instead of them, you know, requesting a $10,000 credit for something that you have an estimate from a licensed whoever for $2,000, you've already got that good to go ready. Mm-hmm. And it's in front of them, and it becomes maybe less refutable or negotiable, and they're more likely willing to accept it because you did the pre-work. Mm-hmm. So good advice there, Kenji. Anything else going on in the marketplace that's a reflection of the marketplace regarding home inspections? Anything else we need to know about?
As of right now, no. We're kind of in the same situation as you guys are with the market.
Yeah.
So just waiting by for those good offers to come through, and when they get picked up, or when passes your table, you go for it, and we're in that same market.
I would tell people too a lot of times we see people make the mistake saying, I don't need a home inspection, I'm going to bypass it. And I think that's a huge mistake. Adrian, what happened to your sister and your dad when they skipped the inspection?
Oh, there was all sorts of problems.
They didn't talk for years.
It caused them to have a little bit of a rift.
Yeah. So even if you're buying from family and stuff like that, we recommend manage the relationship, even the more important relationships, by doing that, let alone selling to a stranger. And
it's like the liability too, because the buyers can come back and have some damages that they can sue for.
Yeah, so have it documented.
Like you're hiding something.
Yeah. So home inspection is what they call that moment of truth. It's opening up the hood, taking it for a test drive. Kenji, I always tell people too, and I don't know if you tell them, but your home inspections are printed out. You also have a digital format.
Pictures,
everything. It's almost like you're creating a homeowner's manual.
And I think he even has some additional options that are 3D kind of stuff. So he's very techy. We highly recommend.
Yeah,
give Kenji and his team at Pillar to Post a call for your home inspections.
All right. Thanks, Kenji.
Thank you, Kenji.
You're welcome.
All righty.
So again, Kenji can be found on the Experts We Trust tab on our website.
Yeah, and you got questions about anything you hear on the show, info@teamlally.com. That's info at teamlally, Lally. Speaking of someone another expert who's keeping your electricity bill down, keeping your Tesla charged, and maybe keeping the rain off of your head inside your house. Who's that?
That would be Jake from Skyta Construction, Roofing, and Solar. And by the way, I just want to give a shout out that they've been featured in this month's Real Producers magazine, which goes out to all the top agents all over Oahu.
So agents, when you get that magazine, go look in there for
the
Skyta. Give Jake a call. We highly recommend putting them as part of your team if you're a realtor out there. But Jake, what you got for us this week?
Well, I had to get in the magazine after Adrian put herself on the front of one of them. We were just trying to be like Sue,
Yep. So awesome sauce.
So this week's unique tip of the week this week is it's of course summertime. You guys are hot. You're thinking about turning your ACs off because your bill's going up.
Yeah.
But there is going to be one of the biggest changes in Hawaiian Electric in over 100 years coming up next summer. And it's already started for some people.
Are they laying off all the squirrels and the squirrel wheels? What's going on?
Yeah, no, they're going to be changing. You guys have already got emails and newsletters saying, hey, time of use is going to be coming out. You're going to be getting a new meter on your home, and they have prices that will go up to 3 times what you're paying for a base rate. So your pricing is guaranteed to go up 150%.
Wow.
And can go as high as 270%, just depending if it's like you get home every day and you use, you're doing your laundry, your food, you're cooking, you're putting your ACs on to cool the house down during those peak hours, 5 to 9 o'clock. If that's when you use a lot of your power, kids coming home from practice, guess what? Your bills can legitimately, that's when they will be charging 3 times.
So 5 to 9. Price. Yeah.
This is crazy because Hawaii already has one of the highest
in the nation.
Yeah, and then now it's
there's like 1 or 2 cities. Yeah, that have it higher, but it's some kind of weird abnormal situation. But literally in the nation, utilities, and that's important, Jake. And I know you know this because in the seller's disclosure, there's a couple questions just regarding utilities, and you've got to answer them, provide bills.
Mm-hmm.
And if the magical wizard called Jay came to your house and got you all squared away, and you can produce an electric bill that says like whatever $18 the base charge, that literally can make you thousands of dollars in your sale of your home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
Yep. Yeah, and you don't just got to wait till you sell your home.
yeah,
If you want to put
Save
some
money now.
ACs in your house,
Yeah.
or you need your roof redone, or you need some solar water
Yeah.
done on your house, all of those are in-house bundled options
Yeah.
that you can do alongside of solar and take advantage of all the incentives. That the highest incentives are being given out this year.
Yes.
They're not going to be around forever. So a lot of people are wanting to look. If they've looked at solar in the past, like, oh my gosh, now's the time, because you don't want to be that person a year from now, next summer, when June rolls around and it's hot and you're seeing your bill go up 3 times, and then you're going to have to wait. It can be up to a year to get solar on your house. So this is a perfect time to take advantage of low prices. People are still qualifying with a 650 FICO score to get solar on their home at no cost.
No cost.
They just drop their bill today for a lower one with solar, right? So if they have any interest, of course, they can go to your page. You just hit me with a text or call at 808-913-8249. It's a great way to get a hold of me. And a lot of people have called in wondering about the newest change with time of use with Hawaiian Electric and trying to get on top of that. So,
all right. Well, thanks, Jake, for being on the show. And
we've got it. Our show, unfortunately, is coming to an end.
But thanks, Jake.
Thank you. Excellent.
You're welcome. Hello.
So our listeners, go to the experts we trust to get a hold of any of our people that have called in today.
Give us an email. Give us a call. Hey, one last thing I want to promote to you is I'm going to be doing so getting on social media. I don't know if I got to go baby steps, because I might get all dizzy and shaky being on social media, but I will be starting up a YouTube channel, and it will be to our agents. So I'll be doing 30-second tips every week consistently and building a library of things on what you need to do to be a successful agent in the business. Speaking of being successful, who do we want to thank?
Thank you for listening, and thank you to our sponsors.
Jody and Derek of Pacific Rim Mortgage.
Bradley of Allstate Insurance.
Kenji with Pillar Post Home Inspections.
John with Kilauea Pest Control.
Luke with Hawaii Pacific Property Management.
Kyle with Impact Wealth Solutions.
Robinson with Fine Line Paint Works.
Chastity of American Floor and Home.
Jake with Skyder Construction, Roofing and Solar.
Ryan of Zero Rose, Hawaii.
And Jeff with the Loan Depot. If you want to get a hold of any of our sponsors, just go to teamlally.com.
We also want to give a big thank you to Leah Rodriguez, our producer here in the studio. Make sure to tune in next week. We'll have an awesome guest talking about something that'll change your life
forever. This is the Team Lally Real Estate Show, home of the Guaranteed
Sold program. If we can't sell your home at the agreed upon price in our time frame, we'll have it bought for cash. Thanks and aloha.
The preceding program was sponsored